Welcome back to another video. Today I'm rocking the hoodie guy shorts. I've seen this guy on TikTok, and these are some disturbing facts and animations. Oh my god. Alright, let's get on with it.
The Titanic was a lot more horrifying than you thought, and was far worse than what you learned. But
Bro, how can it be worse than a damn movie?
why? First off, you would be sleeping when it hit the iceberg, waking up to a loud bang and shake in the middle of the night. And at first, you wouldn't even realize what happened, most people going back to sleep thinking nothing of it. When only 20 minutes later, you would start to hear commotion in the halls, being told to go to the top deck immediately. Still
That's gotta be fucking terrifying.
in
Oh
your
my
night
god.
clothes, thinking it was some kind of drill. At this point, the crew already knew the ship was going down, but you wouldn't even know it yet, only feeling a very slight tilt in the ship. On the top deck, they would try to keep you distracted by playing music while slowly releasing safety boats to prevent panic, where only women and children could escape first. But
Yeah, I'm decking everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna deck everyone who gets in my way from that safety boat. I will deck or punch anyone, even kids.
as time moved on, the tilting grew much worse, where people on the bottom deck would start to see water flowing through the halls and rooms, standing in a large crowd for over an hour waiting to hopefully get a lifeboat. But as the clock neared around 2 a.m., a slow realization would take place that there's not enough safety boats for everyone. At this point, the entire ship would go into a full panic, needing to fight against the crowd to try to get onto the last few boats. Within the panic, the ship would tilt even more, causing the power to go out, which would be pitch black since there was no moonlight on that day. At around 2:18, the tilt would become so extreme it would eventually cause the ship to snap in half, many people flying off or being hit by debris. And if you somehow stayed on the ship, it was now rapidly sinking, where your only choice was to either dive into the pitch black 28 degrees water trying to find a lifeboat, or stay on the ship slowly being lowered into the water, freezing to death. The Titanic
Oh my god. What the Oh, fuck.
These are 4 animals with the most depressing lives. First is a cicada. You hatch from an egg, fall into the dirt, and dig straight
Those annoying damn bugs.
down. With no wings or eyes, you wait underground for 13 to 17 years doing nothing but eating and growing.
17 fucking years. That's a fucking lifetime.
And after all of this waiting, they dig to the surface, live for about 3 weeks, and die.
With that, just straight up anticlimactic. Stay on the ground for 17 years, and look, when you got up, 3 weeks and you die. Holy shit.
Next is the immortal jellyfish. You aimlessly float around the
That thing is immortal? There are animals, living beings that are immortal. What the fuck?
ocean, and when you get sick, injured, or old, you don't die. Instead, you sink to the bottom of the ocean, turn into a blob, and reset back into a baby, stuck in an infinite loop of doing nothing, where it only ends if you get mangled alive by a fish or a crab. But even worse is a male redback spider, where your only purpose in life is to sacrifice yourself, as female redbacks are 8 times bigger than the males, and during mating, they only
That looks like a black widow. Holy shit.
breed for a few seconds, then diving into the female's mouth and getting brutally eaten alive to help fertilize her eggs. Then lastly, the Greenland shark. You're born in total darkness and freezing cold Arctic water and can only
Greenland shark. Is that the oldest shark?
swim slower than humans walk, where your daily routine is swimming alone in the dark, eating remains of dead animals, and eventually going blind from parasites in your eyes. Doing this again and again for a lifespan of over 400 years. These are 4
Yeah, that is the most oldest shark. What the fuck?
These are 4 animals you didn't know were best friends. First, ravens and wolves work together to hunt, where ravens will fly around looking for prey, then flying back to the wolves, getting their attention and leading them to the animal they saw,
But that is a nice combo. Holy shit.
waiting for the kill and sharing the meal. Next, hermit crabs and an enemy basically team up together to survive. Since an enemy can't move fast, the crab will pick it up and equip it on its shell. The anemone helps defend the crab with its stinging tentacles, while the crab gives it much faster transportation and also shares scraps of its food every time it eats. Next, coyotes and badgers hunt together. Since coyotes are better at covering ground and badgers are better underground, the coyote will chase the prey on land, then if it goes under, the badger will take over, leaving the prey with no options or ways to escape.
Oh my god, that is just straight up fucking disturbing. Holy shit.
Sharing their meal. Finally, humans and wild dolphins in Brazil work together to catch fish. The dolphins will find a school of fish and herd them towards the fishermen. When the fish are close, the dolphin will slap the water with its tail, signaling the fishermen to cast the net, causing the fish to scatter and get disorientated, so it's easier for the dolphins to catch, rewarding both of them. These are 4
Okay, some of those are fucking nice and disturbing. What the shit?
What would happen if all humans disappeared from Earth? In the first 24 hours, lights all around the world would start to shut down as power grids fail, leaving everything in darkness. Then a few days in, subways would become flooded, and packs of wild animals along with plants will slowly take over cities. Then a few weeks in, all indoor pets and farm animals would begin to die without food or escape in the wild. About a month in, power plant water cooling would evaporate, causing meltdowns and disasters all around the world. Multiple months in, houses would start to rot due to weather, insects, and leaks. Then a year or two in, satellites would slowly start raining from the sky without proper maintenance. Over the next 25 to 50 years, nature would begin to reclaim everything, including cities. Animal populations would also increase, rebalancing many species.
Okay, at least there are some nice facts or pros.
The air would also be much cleaner and easier to see with less pollution. Then over 200 years later, most buildings, bridges, and towers would start to deteriorate and disappear. Over 15,000 years later, the only evidence we existed would be made out of stone and small traces of metallic dust or pieces. A few million years later, even places like the pyramids and Mount Rushmore will be eroded completely. Then over 50 million years later, Earth will be completely back to normal with zero proof we ever existed.
Okay, that is just straight up fucking sad. Oh my god.
How did this farmer become the most feared sniper in history?
Isn't that Simo Khaiha?
And earned the nickname White Death after slaying hundreds of people. It all started during the Winter War in 1939, where a soon-to-be deadly man named Simo served as a
Yeah, but it is Simo. Oh
sniper
my
for
god.
the Finnish army. But he wasn't like the rest of the snipers and was so good at hiding he literally caused paranoia in the entire Soviet army. But
That must be fucking terrifying. Oh my god. Like the fucking sleep paralysis demon or type
how?
shit.
First off, he never stayed in place or in a sniper nest. Instead, he lurked in the forest by himself,
That's a good strategy. Holy
burrowing
shit.
himself under the snow in a white camouflage suit, making him practically invisible. And every time he took out a few targets, he would move. He would also snipe without a scope, preventing glints, and was an experienced hunter, knowing all the best spots. Becoming such a threat, the Soviets began sending entire artillery barrages near random areas in the woods, hoping to hit him, and even had an entire sniper force specifically looking for him. But they still had no luck, continuing to take out
The best hide and seek player in the world, and it's the most deadliest and deadliest sniper in history. Holy shit.
hundreds of more soldiers, making the Soviets terrified of the woods. Until one day, a Soviet finally spotted him, taking an explosive round to the jaw, being pulled out of the war, and somehow still making a full recovery, with a total of 500 confirmed fatalities.
Okay, he's fucking terrifying.
These are the terrifying steps you would face if you got chosen to fight in the Colosseum. First, Roman guards would break down your door and pull you out of your home. If you couldn't pay your debt, were a criminal, or even a slave, you could get chosen at any random moment. Next, they would shackle you up and drag you through the streets, scraping your entire body as they made their way towards the Colosseum. But it gets more brutal. They'll then march around with your body through crowded streets as an example, letting people spit or hit you as they dragged you everywhere. And
That is just straight up sad and disrespectful. Holy shit.
eventually, you would be taken underneath the Colosseum, pulling you through a dark hallway into a holding cell with nothing in it except a cold floor, forcing you to stay in the cell for multiple days or even weeks as they decided your fate and advertised your upcoming fight. And it was nearly impossible for you to sleep, hearing the crowd chanting all day and people dying directly above your head. Even at night, you would hear wild animals as they kept them in the same room as prisoners. Next,
That is just fucking paranoia and terrifying at the same
after
time.
all this waiting, on a random day, they'll suddenly unlock your door and pull you out. You're now about to discover your fate. If they gave you weapons and armor, you could possibly be a gladiator, fighting other prisoners, having the best chance at survival. But if they handed you a dull wooden sword or a towel,
Oh yeah, you're definitely
your
dead.
life was already over, facing the punishment called Dominatio ad Bestias, being thrown into one final small pitch-black cell, hearing the crowd roaring around you, praying to fight something easy, eventually opening the door in front of you, walking out, and seeing a crowd of over 50,000 people cheering for your death.
Oh my
And in a
God.
moment of truth, the Roman guards will raise a small
You just better just offering yourself.
platform within the Colosseum, being met with whatever animal you have to face, which they specifically starved and agitated. You could try to fight back, but the best thing you could do is accept your fate. These are the terrifying
Yeah, just better off offering yourself.
Have you ever wondered how we domesticated dogs and turned them into a man's best friend? It all started about 30,000 years ago, where humans and wolves were pretty much enemies. Wolves would always try to sneak up on humans and try to scavenge leftover bones and food, and humans would typically kill or chase them away since they were aggressive. But sometimes there were wolves that weren't aggressive and simply stood near camps without bothering them. Noticing this, humans would only give the calm ones more food, and since they actually helped scare away predators and even warn us when something was near, we didn't mind them. Where these calm wolves began shadowing around humans all the time, and also helped us hunt, sharing the catch. And over time, we got so used to these wolves, we even began letting them live with us, only breeding and helping the ones with calm genetics and fighting off the aggressive ones. And throughout multiple generations of breeding, humans pretty much reshaped wolves' DNA to be friendlier towards us, and thousands of years later, slowly became the dogs that we have today.
Noodle dog.
Did you know there was a bear that fought in World War II alongside the Polish?
Oh yeah, Wojtek.
It all started when a group of soldiers stumbled into a kid selling a baby bear in the Middle East, trading it with the kid for some food because they thought it was cute. And in the beginning, it was nothing more than a pet, feeding it milk and honey daily, keeping company in their tents,
Cartoon food.
and
Oh my
even
God.
naming it Wojtek. But over
Yeah, I knew it. It is
over
Wojtek.
time, the bear grew giant, over 6 feet tall and 500 pounds, planning on leaving him behind until they realized they could actually utilize the bear, deciding to register him into an official military rank called Private Wojtek, bypassing laws not allowing animals to travel, where Wojtek would actually work on the front lines with the Polish, helping carry heavy artillery shells or anything too heavy, saving tons of energy. Even off the battlefield, he would help detect spies, since every time one snuck in, they would freak out after seeing Wojtek, letting everyone know you weren't one of them. Did you know?
Okay, that is a nice strategy. Holy shit.
Have you ever wondered why nothing attacks a capybara? They seem to be friends with nearly every living being on the planet, but why? First off, capybaras are naturally calm and very social creatures. They don't care if you go near it or bother them. They're also herbivores, so there's no need to attack other animals and are basically friends with everything. Known to hang out around caimans without getting attacked and also riding on top of them.
That is a chill ass animal.
Where
Holy
even
shit.
extremely vicious animals like jaguars and pumas are seen chilling with them as well. But still, why don't these deadly animals attack it? Well, in reality, you've been lied to. Because most of these clips you've seen of them chilling around these predators is simply because they're already full, or just too lazy to hunt them at that moment, meaning capybaras aren't always seen as friends. Have you
Well, shit. Well, that just twisted some narrative.
These are the terrifying reasons you could never survive a Quetzalcoatl.
That is a terrifying pterodactyl. Oh my God, why is it staring into my soul?
First off, they were 3 times taller than you. They stood over 16 feet tall, the height of a giraffe.
God
With a
damn.
wingspan the size of a bus, 35 feet wide, being the largest animal to ever fly on Earth. But it gets more horrifying. They had 5 times better eyesight than humans, easily seeing tiny movements from miles away. And when they spotted you, they could jump up to 8 feet high, taking off from the ground alone. But when they flew, they wouldn't just flap their wings, mostly gliding instead, meaning that you wouldn't hear them coming. And even if you did have a chance to run, their bones are hollow, making them extremely fast, allowing them to reach up to 80 miles per hour when flying, impossible to outrun. But if you still somehow manage to escape under something nearby, you'd quickly figure out flying isn't the only thing they can do. Able to run on all 4s.
Yeah, that will be my fucking nightmare.
But it gets worse once they find you, as they didn't have teeth. Instead, they would use their 8-foot-long razor-sharp beak to attack you, picking you out of your hiding spot and knocking you down with it. If you were small enough, they would just swallow you whole. But if you were larger, they couldn't eat too much at once, so they would constantly jab you and throw you around until smaller chunks of you tore off,
That is just straight up disturbing. Holy
swallowing
shit.
you piece by piece. 9 crazy reasons you could be accused as a witch in the 1600s. If you were way too attractive, getting lots of attention, they thought your looks might be used to manipulate people into witchcraft, killing you for it. If
Well, that is just straight up fucking stupid. What the
you
hell?
were writing on a piece of paper and someone noticed you were left-handed, it was believed left-handed people had the devil's hand, ending your life. After an argument with someone, if you mumbled under your breath while walking away, people thought you were cursing them with a spell, executing you. If
Damn, without any proof?
you were too good at cooking and baking, making better tasting food than your neighbors, they thought you used bewitched ingredients to make your food too enjoyable, torturing you to death. If
Better food than your fucking neighbors. What the
If you
fuck?
had a large birthmark, freckles, or moles, you'd be labeled as having the witch's mark, drowning you alive. If someone saw you in their dream, it was believed the person they saw is a witch using spiritual powers to invade your mind, burning you at the stake. If you were never in a relationship or weren't married, people might think you were overly independent, trying to hide something, taking your life. If you loved animals and had a lot of pets, they thought you used them as a vessel to transform into and spread your witchcraft, killing you and your pets.
What the f- Okay, I can't watch anymore. What the fuck? These are so fucking disturbing. Holy shit. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe it and help me reach 10,000 subscribers and comment down below. Which which one of these were more disturbing and fucked up? That is y'all.